Good evening and welcome along to Home Park. We're here for the under-20s match against St Anthony's. It's coming in just under 10 minutes time. Tonight I'll be joined by Banky's legend, former skipper Kevin Stanley. And we'll also have crackpot Kirk Forbes chipping away as well. As always, John Dunbar is here filming for us. Thanks for joining us. Right away we're going to move on and speak to the manager, Scott Carson. Scott, thanks for coming up.
No, it's a privilege, Paul.
It's good to be here again and bringing the game live. We had a wee chat the other night, but a lot of the people would have been at the game and missed what we talked about. So we'll maybe cover off a wee bit of the season so far and where you're at.
We're 2 games, 2 wins away from winning the title. Johnson Borough are cup duty tonight, so we can gain 3 points tonight. And then it's cup duty, and I believe we can hopefully win it in a couple of weeks' time.
That'll be a good occasion. I think the next league game's here as well, so that'd be nice if you can do it at Home Park.
I believe it is Gartcairn. We spoke on Tuesday about Gartcairn. Maybe thought that was a massive part of the season where Evan Dunn scored 2 very late goals when we were 1-0 down. It'd be nice to bring them here and hopefully put on a display.
We've also touched on it. Martin Smith making the breakthrough at the first team lately as well, so that must have given the whole squad a wee lift, seeing somebody going through and grabbing their chance.
Oh, it's massive. I've said before, the first team coaching staff are more than willing to bring the boys up. So Tino's back down for a wee bit of game time tonight on the instruction of the gaffer. So we'll see Martin tonight, probably second half, and hopefully can do what he did for the first team for us tonight. Well,
fingers crossed. Looking through the team, so you went to the same 11 as last week. What's the thinking behind that?
Thinking behind that, Paul, is we never trained on Tuesday. We brought the boys down to watch the first team, and then the snow killed the training last night. So the display the boys put on, I watched it back, and I didn't think we could make any changes. Thought it's only fair to go with that starting 11.
That's fair enough, and it was quite a convincing victory last week, and we've got the goals that we can show the viewers at home. They can have a wee look back at that. It was 6-1 against Pollock. Obviously you were desperate to beat them.
Oh yeah, Pollock beat us early on in the season. You know, they beat us 1-0 over their place. And I thought, to be fair, and they started 15-20 minutes. I thought they started the game well, but as you see there, Evan Dunn scores a goal possibly against runner playing. That kind of took the wind out their sails, and from then on we just kind of took control of the game, and the scoreline reflects that.
I think that's the only game as well that you've no scored this season, is that right? It was Pollock, that's the only game?
That's right. We didn't play badly that night. We gave away a silly penalty which ultimately cost us, but if that's the only blip in the season league-wise, then I'm going to take that all day long, Paul. You
can't argue with that. Like you say, you've still got a couple of cups to play for as well, so plenty going into the end of the season.
Yep, the big one's the Scottish. That's the one we need to make a big assault on. It'd be good to get a couple of cracking ties down here, get the fans out, and that'll be the one that we kind of set our eyes on next.
Just looking through, last time you were here you spoke to me and we covered the game live and we managed to cut you off.
You done it again?
I've not done it again, no, but we talked that night that you wanted the boys to be a bit more prolific, so
yep.
I think looking at the league table, they've not done you too bad.
No, they haven't, but we've not hit double figures. Other teams have done that. Teams below us have hit the double figures, so it'd be a nice target to maybe try and achieve with the run in. So maybe hopefully, fingers crossed for tonight. And
looking through the squad, I mean, there's goals right through the team, but I think you've got to take your hat off to Connor Hamilton again with 38 so far this season.
Connor's been fantastic. Loves scoring a goal, hates getting taken off. I think he's told me that he's not coming off until he gets 4. So we'll wait and see.
And he did score 4 that night after saying that he'll need to be more prolific.
He did. So hopefully gets another 4 tonight.
Fingers crossed. Scott, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game. Good luck. And we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.
There we go, Scott Carson giving his thoughts on the season so far. Quite an impressive season it's been. We'll just catch up with the end of these Pollock goals. Now joined by Kirk Forbes and Kevin Stanley. Were you both at the game last week?
Yes. No, I was playing over 35s actually, believe it or not. So, but I was well informed.
Pretty sure you're over 40 now.
Kev, well, you were there last week, so what did you think?
Thought it was a very good performance. As Scott said, they started the first 20-25 minutes up. Pollock were very good. Once Clydebank scored, it was only one team going to win it.
You have both been at a number of games this season. The league table, as we're often told, doesn't lie. It's been quite impressive.
They've been excellent. they've battered teams, to be honest with you, Paul, over the season. I think I've only missed 2 or 3. Maybe a slight disappointment was getting put out against Beef in the Cup down there. Get a man sent off, but they've been prolific at home, goal after goal. And some of the standard of the goals, you can only play what's in front of you. And they've scored some smashing goals, as Scott said there, regarding Connor, Tino at times, and obviously Ben's came back in the fold from America. So at home they're very, very strong.
Just touching there as well, we mentioned a wee bit about Martin Smith making a breakthrough at the first team. He's not the first player this year that's made it into the first team. Do you expect to see a couple more?
Aye, well, I think fans maybe, have been honest, they probably look at the 20s and think they should be seeing more of them. But it's not the way it works. We've got a very close relationship with Scott and his boys. Myself, Gaffer, Gaz, Phil and Drew constantly talk, and the boys that have had an opportunity have basically deserved it, Paul, to be honest with you. Tino deserved his chance, took it well. He's dropped back during the night, and that's just the way it's going. But listen, there's a clear pathway there. We've had umpteen players come into our side since Moff took over, and long may that continue.
Kevin, from your point of view, obviously watching for the terrace, and how important do you think it is to see guys getting that pathway for the 18s, 20s and making that into the first team?
I think that's the whole point of having the academy, for these players to come through the different age groups, to get to the 20s, to hopefully get to the first team. And has Dylan Call, Ocean's another one that's come through. Martin recently has played. I think it looks really good for the long-term future.
I think that's where us as a club has to be. We have to have that coming through, Kirk, to continue the growth.
Aye, well, obviously, budgets plays a part of that, but as Kevin says, there's no point in having an academy if guys aren't coming through. If you're a 20s player playing at the club and you're not getting a sniff and there's no many players, then you get a bit disheartened, but that's not the case here. We totally encourage it, and as I said before, the proof of the pudding is these guys have had a chance. Martin Smith, Dylan Call, Jamie currently in goals, they've all played their part. Adam Smith's not too far away near his corner, and they'll continue to do that as long as they're developing and improving, and they make a difference when they come into our training. Never mind in games, when they come into our training and they're showing up well, then the gaffer will pick them. It's as simple as that.
We'll touch a wee bit more on the academy at half time. Kirk, you can give us a wee update on what's going on there. Teams are out, we're just about to get underway. In fact, that is us underway. As you'll see, we've got to donate a ticket on your screen there. Be grateful if you could make a wee contribution. Everything that comes in through donate a ticket tonight will go to the under 20s funds. Ants quickly on the attack. Crosses a bit deep there for Aidan McLagan. We'll try and get to grips with these names quickly. Maybe. Like I say, if you can donate a ticket there, everything that comes in will go through to the boys this evening. So be grateful if you can make a wee contribution. Big thanks to the sponsors, I love it. Breathing Space and DS Interiors all contributing towards the boys. And Clydebank and the All Blacks sponsored Love It Tops, the Ants. Green and white hoops, they're shooting towards the Glasgow end. Kirk, we touched a wee bit there on Connor Hamilton. How important is it to have somebody as prolific as that on your side?
It's not as good as your strikers, as some people say. He's been excellent this season. I think goals speak for itself. Top goal scorer by a country mile. He's hit hat-tricks and fours at this point. I think Connor's biggest challenge will be next season, developing and maybe having a bit more, watch what I'm saying, but a bit more competition in terms of who he's playing against at times. But listen, some of his goals and his finish, I saw his free kick last week, he's done that 3 or 4 times, so he definitely knows where the goal is. Connor's challenge next year is how far he can develop, and he's been in about the first team.
Well, it's a loose opportunity and it's come off the post.
He's been in about the first team, and we'll see where it takes him. But he's had an excellent season so far. That should be 1-0 St Ants. That was an absolute sitter through and goal. Big mistakes from Evan there. We showing him the ball way back to goal.
Bit more composure, and that's 1-0, Kev.
Yeah, definitely. It's very similar to how last week's game started. Very slack for the first 15-20 minutes last week.
I think that was Kieran McInerney that hit the post there, but Ants obviously, looking at the return game, it was a 4-0 Clydebank victory, but they've come here obviously try to play a wee bit and impress as well. Probably no pressure on them, Kirk.
I was there, I was at the Ants game, and Ants kept going, to be fair, the away game. Took quite a while for Clydebank in the second half to break them down. If you remember that game, Kobe Bryan had 3 or 4 really big chances on the left hand side against the Ants. And the way they played and now, looking at it, he's always wide, he's always a right ball, as he just collects the ball now. Typically gives it away once you mention him.
We did that the other day, talking about how well we defended on Saturday, and within about a minute and a half, Tuesday, Blantyre equalised. Ben Bradshaw wins a throw in front of technical areas. If you'll just join us, it's still 0-0. Just over 3 minutes played. Ants hitting the post early doors. Chilly night, crowd still filtering in. Ultras here once again, making a bit of noise, warming up for tomorrow.
So just to echo Kurt's thoughts on Connor, it's very difficult to need to step to the next level as a striker. Playing against men every week as opposed to playing against boys his own age.
I think touching on that, because let Scott say that, you can only play what's in front of you. You know, it must be hard, but they've still went out and been quite clinical and battered teams at times. You know, but it's then that wee gap, and this will be Connor's last year at this level. He was one, I think, that got the extension. So,
yeah. And that's the challenge for the guys that are in about the first team is that jump. I mean, there is a jump in level, and I think even getting away from the games, Paul, there's a jump in level in terms of training.
do you see that at times when some of the guys come in? Do they look a bit out of place, or do they go and commit themselves and get right stuck in?
The relationship we've got with Scotty, and we've obviously trained with us, so we bring boys down.
A fine touch for Connor there. Aidan Cairns going through, but referee pulls it back for a foul.
Connor Hamilton in here. No, just going back to what you're saying there, Paul. We've got a really close relationship. Most weeks we've got 3 or 4 of them in first training with the first team, and they don't look overawed. That's for me the biggest thing. They've got to come into our training and not be overawed and not be scared and go and show what they're capable of and being brave and basically get right in about it. And I think if you come into our training and yell at that, then you're not going to stand out. And to be fair to them, their attitude when they come in is excellent.
Free kick to Clydebank. Looks like Connor Hamilton about 30 yards out. Strikes it right footed because across the goalkeeper. Doesn't he test him?
There was no booking for the free kick.
I thought he could have pulled them back. Yeah, he's promised an attack. Maybe thinking that 5 minutes in, he maybe felt it was a bit early. I know you'll say a card's a card, but that's because between you two, you must have picked up about 7,040.
Believe it or not, my disciplinary record in the park was impeccable.
We just need to working off the park now then, don't we?
I never get suspended even if I played with the Bankies.
Because you only played about 7 games.
Doesn't matter.
So you can't get booked if you don't put in a tackle. It's all for mouth for me.
That's even worse.
Rarely booked for dissent myself.
So if you're going to get a card, then make it worth it. Captain Dylan Cole, another one that's featured in the first team a few times. Hamilton wins it again. Good defending for Kieran Smith, gets it back to his goalkeeper. Clears. Cairns again, gets it wide to Aidan Craig. Cuts in, looks for a shot. It's a good save for the goalkeeper. Rebound. Keeper's saved. I think he's went with the offside. Good patient build-up play. Aidan Craig firing in the shots. Of course, sponsored by the Mad Bush beer. Let's throw that one in while we can.
I think he came from Pollock, didn't he?
He did, aye. Came mid-season.
Holly took a couple of bottles of G81 Pale Ale back to America with her, so I think she's going to be giving them out to some people.
Oh, brilliant. That's what we like to hear.
We'll go on Twitter later.
We'll have a wee look on Twitter shortly, see who's talking to us. We'll check the viewing figures as well. Remember, you can give us a shout through at Bankies TV. You're more than welcome to join us.
must have been difficult for Dylan going into the first team and having to play at right back when he plays most of his games at centre back for the under 20s.
I mean, obviously, I think the first he started against Benburb just after Christmas, Kevin. You know, he came in right at the deep end playing against a really aggressive winger, Lovren's boy. Unless he's playing centre half majority of the time for the 20s, but for me that's when they've got to adapt, Kev. You know, you might not come into the first team and play where you want to play. You know, we've seen it with Liam Harris the other night, or last week, sorry, against Chance here.
The chance cleared off the line.
Yeah, Liam Harris, you know, came off the bench, went into the middle of the park, man sent off, and then he was shifted to right back. Sometimes that's what's going to happen, and then he then again came in, played in the middle of the park during the week, and was really good. I thought when he came off the bench against St Cadoc's at right back, I thought he was excellent.
Probably similar to Ocean when he played at centre back the other night.
Aye, spot on. Aye, that's
back.
it. You know,
I thought he'd done really well Tuesday night.
I think along with him, Blackie, Bull, I thought Ocean was probably man of the match. I thought he was absolutely excellent. And again, I don't think we're ever questioning Ocean's ability. It's maybe just that wee bit of responsibility, a wee bit of communication, and you know, coming from the 20s, being into the first team, turning into a man. Do you know what I mean? And I thought he was outstanding. I thought he was tight, aggressive. He was talking, distribution was good. He's still got things to learn. He's still young, and Gaffer and Gaz obviously they played there working that. But aye, as you say, coming straight in, you know, not played a lot of football, been in loan, didn't quite work at Kilburnie, and he comes in, plays left centre half the other night, and it was outstanding.
I thought he did a great game the other night. He showed a wee bit of maturity. Said what you're talking about, having to grow up, you know.
Aye, and I think it may be left back. You know, when you've got cover inside you, you can afford maybe not to be talking and stuff like that.
Switched on all the time.
I think at that position, you know, you look at JD in there, total leader with his communication, and I think a lot for the 20s, a part of that is talking. I think we're quite quiet as a team, so you can't have enough talkers in the team. And I thought
definitely.
Ocean, that was the biggest thing for me when he played. Then he's got to take that on, whether he goes into left back or centre half. You know, got to take a chance. But again, go back to that word, developing.
Game's quite open at the moment.
Bit scrappy as well, actually. Bit of a basketball game. You try and settle down, get on the ball. You try and get Adam Smith in the ball. We make a couple of passes with Leroy.
You hold your mic closer. These are too quiet.
Sorry.
Jeez, I've never heard that before.
Just having a wee flick through Twitter and see who's slagging us off. And that was the first thing. Kirky's too quiet for a change. There you go.
Pretty sure he'll make up for it.
The Mora.
We do know that the picture looks a bit foggy. It seems to be the coldness that's affecting the lens. I've had to try and get a wipe, but you'll just have to make do with what you've got, I'm afraid.
Hands have pressed quite high there, Kevin. Not letting Clydebank coming out. You know,
Forcing them to go long.
very high ants. It's basically 4 up there. Yep, they've basically recovered the ball from that.
Say it again, forcing them to go long all the time. I'd like to hear a keeper shouting there to come out for that.
Yeah, they've actually started quite well. And see if they do it again from the by kick. Yeah, they basically went man for man in the middle of the park, St Ants.
The only danger with pressing so high is you leave yourself open, don't you, if it doesn't work.
And this is where Kobe's in now.
He's got to strike it.
Hit the side netting.
Yeah.
We got across the goalkeeper there.
I think he's got to, if I'm being honest, Kevin, I'm Connor Hamilton here, I think he's got to square that.
He has. His corner shouting for it, that's the other thing.
Say hello to Harry. Harry's an Ants fan, but he's watching in.
Good evening, Harry.
We've got Eleanor, we've got the chair. Gaffers watching as well, says the commentary is excellent.
Try and keep in the Gaffers good books.
just going to remind her that the commentary is always excellent.
It's nice to see Dylan's recovered for his bad injury as well.
Really bad. Obviously had I think he had 2 ops on it.
Yeah, he does. I was
second up on it.
Speaking to his dad about 6 months ago, and he was talking about it. Said how he was a bit down when the first operation ever worked, but
an Ant's corner.
Getting a bit of joy down this right side, St Ant's.
Done well to stand up there, not to dive in, not to switched off.
Corner will be taken by Cameron Lindsay, right footed.
It's a free header.
It's a free header, just doesn't get the connection on it. Kieran Love.
Poor marking for Clydebank there.
I think actually 5 who's went for that, he's actually went a bit early and it's actually get caught under it a bit. Wide again.
A pleasing thing, nearly 15 minutes in, that both teams are trying to play football the right way.
Yeah, St Ant's have got a decent shape about them actually. They've obviously done their homework from the last game, and Clydebank like to get it in the middle of the park and get it out wide with the shape that they play, and Ant's basically went and matched them up and got the better of it actually, because Clydebank have not really played through the middle of the park yet. I think Adam Smith gets it for deep and likes to play, and he's not really got on it the first 15 minutes.
Well, there you see, that's forced Clydebank to play it long again for the back. Keep losing possession.
Got Jim Wright watching as well. Nice to see a number of payments coming in for the donate a ticket as well. Keep them coming. 20s are self-funded, so every penny counts.
Well done, Ben.
A panic clearance, but it's led to a decent attack.
A wee bit of fortune there, but again, good defending. Ansel got the throw in.
It looked as if Dylan was going to lose out to the boys' pace
done
there.
well there to the cover back. I think Matt's got
body
taken a
across.
touch there, but Ben actually pulled him out of hole with a great touch out wide. The ultras, brilliant, absolutely brilliant there.
Not when you're stirring that shed, or no?
Makes a difference, every wee atmosphere. Players respond to that at any level, Kirk, yeah.
They've been brilliant. Some of the banners, I think they'd won for the gaffer in the Scottish Cup game, they've been absolutely brilliant, Joe. I think that's created an atmosphere, and they've been excellent this season. Hats off to them.
They never stopped at all on Tuesday night.
Aye.
I think they forced a few older ones to leave the shed.
And some of them are actually academy players as well. I think a couple of them are for Davy Mahin's team as well. So
that's right. I know that they've spent a fair few quid putting their banners and that together. They've paid for it themselves, with pocket money. And
Gordon Moffat said he was giving them $2,000 at the end of the season, but for all the reimburse them, so we'll be alright.
Nice to
He
hear.
told his wife yet.
Moff probably paid for the banner they put up for the Annan game as well, to be fair.
I think they had one a couple of weeks ago as well, mental health one. It's okay not to be okay. That was a nice touch.
That's right, yeah, it was nice to see that. There was a lot of not so nice things in the press at that time, so it's good to see that even the young team, the youth, are in tune with what's going on in the world.
Let's hope we can keep a few of them as fans for the future.
Yeah, I think the Scottish Cup's helped that, Kev, to be honest with you. Fans have came back this season, which has been brilliant, and hopefully it's not just for Scottish Cup games, just it's for all games, but brilliant to have young fans, and they've really bought into the Ultras. Have been brilliant for us this season, and not just for the first team, the 20s games, and even the turnout from fans for the 20s games, it's been excellent.
I was just going to touch on that. I was talking to Paul and Cod during the week. They were thrilled with some of the numbers that have turned out on a Friday night, and especially the weather. And last week it was honking by all accounts. And the reckon there was nearly 200 here.
Well, it's helped fund the 20s this season. They went from basically paying fees to not. That's a massive thing for these guys who are just on apprenticeships or part-time jobs, or still in education with studying and stuff like that. So brilliant. Fans come out cold Friday night. They'll be here tomorrow as well. So yeah, brilliant. The fans have been excellent for both teams this season. Excellent, and long may it continue.
So the boys don't need to pay fees now, the 20s?
As far as I know, Kev, aye, so they basically paid some fees last season, and now with the donation and the ticket money or the gate money with the donation, as far as I'm left to do, they get that, and that's a massive difference. Obviously pays for refs and whatnot, and I think the love it's been brilliant for them this season. I think Gary's been, done really well to back them as well, so that's a massive thing for a 20s player to say that you're going to come and play under the umbrella, and you're not going to have anything. I think they've brought in Dougie as well as a kit man.
Maybe get him some clays that fit him right enough. So
that's been good as well. Wee bit of professionalism. They've got their own kit man now, so stuff like that makes a difference.
We sat down last year and managed to get all the players sponsored, and to be fair to them, because the season never happened, they honoured the sponsorship for this season as well. So that was a nice touch for the team as well. It's not about the money that's coming in. They were quite willing to say, well, you gave us last year, so thanks, and we're not going to look for it again when they could have.
It's also attractive if they're trying to bring players in as well for other under 20s teams, 18s.
I think across the board it looks like it's been a really good standard and well organised at this level. The media coverage as well. I mean, there was great highlights last week. There's a lot of the 20s games. I've got the teams. Have got their own Twitter accounts and that, and people can keep in touch. They know what's going on at all levels of the club. So social media has been brilliant for that as well.
And I think it'll be even more competitive next year, because I think all the top two in each of the teams will go in and basically create a premier, which will make it more competitive at the top end for me.
You see, when that happens and all the guys that can no longer play at this level drift out, you'll just see how good some of the teams are.
Aye, she's obviously, let's not kid ourselves, the 20s have gave out some doons this season, and I think once they put it into leagues a bit like the West will do next season, then they'll have more competitive games for me. But as I said before, they've got to play who they've got to play, and they've been excellent this season, but they'll better and bigger challenges to come next season. And obviously they've 9 or 10 of the boys are out of basically over the age, so some will stay with us, some will come in for pre-season, some will go out on loan, some will ultimately move on, but Scotty and his backroom staff there have a good challenge in terms of playing big teams every week that they're used to winning as well.
That'll benefit the development of the players as well, playing against the best teams rather than this year where it's been a wee bit mixed with some doings, like you say, Kirky. Some teams maybe not ready to play the top teams, so if you've got 10 of the top teams, the players will respond to that and we'll find out how good they are.
I think with COVID, Paul, they needed to have this season where it was just basically regionalised, and they needed that, which was fine. But I think next season, when it's down to competitive, as I say, a chance for Snatch,
good save there.
Then it'll be better for their players, where when you're 7-8-1 up, then it's good at the time, but in terms of development, as I said to Kev earlier, then I think getting competition every week. St Ange should actually be 2-0 up here. They've had a couple of chances. Clydebank have been quite
a better chances and a bit of good goalkeeping there.
The 20s at this level's still in its infancy, so it can only get better and better over the years.
It's young. It's still new.
I was talking to somebody that works at a Premier League club.
The header's come off the bar, the chance of the rebound. Oh, what a save. Is that a handball?
Penalty.
No, he's got to go as well.
That'll be a red card as well, surely.
I'd spoke to somebody at a Premier League club does the scouting, had said
there's indeed a red card comes out.
Because before there was no space for late developers in this country, now they're starting to look at this level.
And also, Kev, with COVID, there's a lot of teams that are basically professional that don't have any youth anymore. They've got rid of them because of COVID, so there'll be a bit like our level. There'll be players getting watched at our level from League 1 and League 2 teams, and that'll filter all the way through it. Money will be a big factor as well, do you know what I mean? So if you can pick a cherry up, in the 20s league, then there's good players in there.
Well, outside it's the big two. There's every penny's a prisoner to every club.
Yeah, I'm going to go a run, a skip, and a wee dummy here, and keeper's left for Connor Hamilton. He likes that wee step, unless he reverses it this week.
You're just covering your bases then.
Well, if the keeper has watched his penalty last week, they'll know he might go there. So I'll still go with keeper's left with a wee dummy. There we go.
There he does. well taken penalty kick. Clydebank in front. 22 minutes on the clock, and the visitors.
Hopefully that settles them down, try and open it up and get a wee bit more on the ball now.
Well, the Ants will have to change the way they're pressing Clydebank now if they're a man down.
Cool as you like, Connor there, great finish.
Takes it really well. Keeper commits himself too easily maybe, but
Confident when he steps up from there.
you know, you've seen him do that a few times lately as well. It just shows you the importance of taking your chances, because as we were just saying a minute ago, Ants could have been 2-0 up, penalty kick, you're 1 down and down to 10 men. Just waiting confirmation of who the red card went to.
Right back, was it maybe?
I think so. I just can't find the numbers, because the problem we've got up here, Kirky, is that we can't see players' backs when they're attacking us. Prefer it when we're up that end of first half, so we can try and get a grips for the players' numbers. When they turn in at half time, we've got an idea what position they're in.
I'm going to go number 2's been sent off.
At least the Ants are still trying to knock the ball about.
They are, Kev, aye.
Almost had another chance here.
If it's number 2, that was Martin Miller, but we'll find it at some point. Here come the Ants again. It's a good effort, good save.
It's 2 saves from Max, and also they've hit the post. You can hear a couple of players as well moaning at each other. They obviously know it's not quite happening there, Kevin, now.
Yeah, they're not very happy with how they're performing at the moment.
Corner from Lindsay.
3 on 3 here.
Good touch for Aidan Cairns to clear. We'll go through the goalkeeper.
Unlucky Leroy.
Referee signaling there was an offside.
Been impressed with Kobe anytime I've watched the 20s. He's been really good for him this season.
Really similar to Ocean when we first came in and had a look at Ocean. Very similar, up and down, great left foot. Again, a bit Ocean, just needs a wee bit of development, positional wise, defensive wise. Oh, what a strike that is! What a goal!
Oh.
That is.
What a goal!
And even down to 10 men. That
It's
been
Max
coming.
looks as if he's picked up a knee injury there. as well. That just shows you, 10 men still taking the game to them. Should be up before that. Go 1-0 down, and then a pop like that gets you back in the game. What a strike that was!
thoroughly deserved their goal as well. The way they've played.
They probably deserved that, Kevin.
Aye,
In
100%.
terms of playing, aye, they probably deserved that. I don't know if see that back again if Max is maybe off his line a wee bit. It just dips at the end. It's hard to see from this angle, but take nothing away from the boy. Great strike.
I certainly give the boy the credit. It was a fantastic strike.
I feel quite bad, but it looks like we missed it in the replay. I'll have a look and see if I can pull that in at half time, but you can rewind it, as John says, and watch it back.
I think the boy will be going back and rewind it all night.
It was a fine strike. Davy Brockett confirms it was Martin Miller that picked up the red card.
Oh, great ball. Kobe's in.
Kobe with a chance.
He's
Oh, it's a great
tries to get
tackle.
his left foot.
No
Great
confident
tackle.
on his right foot at all, is he?
Taking his right foot there. Good tackle, but I think Kobe shows him too much of the ball there.
Obviously, Big Matt not got enough money for the club. He can afford a pair of shorts. Turns up whatever the weather in a pair of shorts.
He doesn't wear trousers. In fact, that is trousers he's got. It's just because he's so tall they turn into shorts.
See, Matt's been a big supporter of the 20s. He's watched them quite a lot this season.
Aye, he's been down most games. Aye, he lives locally as well. Aye, which is good. It's good for the 20s boys to see. First team players down supporting them, as the 20s have done all season at first team games. With a lot of 20s players and academy coaches and academy players for that matter down supporting the first team. And that's what you want. You want people that are involved in the academy down ultimately supporting the first team. Brilliant to see.
There's a lot of togetherness right through the club as well. It's where people would want to come and play in that sort of environment, whether it's a dressing room, at training, at different levels of the club, that everybody wants to be a part of it.
Essentially, we're now a community club, and that's building on the ethos of us being a community club.
David McNeil, Davy Lundberg both watching at home. I think. I don't know if they're watching at home. They're just both commenting on WhatsApp. Just Davy Lundberg's at home.
I've actually got a birthday present for Davy Lundberg. He's listening.
Davy's listening. There you go, Davy.
Not seen him. Thanks. Not seen him since his birthday a couple of weeks ago. I think if Clydebank start moving the ball a bit quicker against the 10, it's too slow for me.
Like to see them moving the ball from side to side and getting out wide, try and stretch them a wee bit.
Stretch them a wee bit.
Out the other side.
St Anne's have still kept in no bad shape, to be fair.
Good shape, good pressing, and a cracking strike for, I think it was Lewis Quinn for the equaliser as well, to be fair. So
Well done, Ben.
there'll be a free kick here. Referee tries to play the advantage. Pulls it back eventually. Maybe could have done it a wee bit earlier. Ben Bradshaw getting up that right hand side.
I think that's key to breaking St Anne's down. I think when Evan plays that ball in there to Leroy in a half turn, I think that's the ball. Once Leroy's in positions, pop it off and get in behind him.
There's my favourite man, Stuart Kelly, turns up with the coffees. Strongest coffee in town.
Well, mine must be really strong because mine's a Bovril.
Kind of beats them Nescafe.
I think Max
What's
has
that?
got
Max
a
is
injury here.
picking up the injury.
Is it shoulder from that goal, I think?
So did he collide with the post?
I think he collided with the post. I think it's his right shoulder.
Just a way to see if we did actually
Looks
catch
as if
that.
just looks as if they're making a substitute, actually.
Looks as if he's really
Replay
struggling.
of it.
Yeah.
So Max Clark's evening's over and he'll be replaced by James Canavan.
He's picked up a couple of injuries this season, Max. He had an ankle injury as well that kept him out for a wee bit. Who's the...
James Canavan, he's a recent signing. I did catch that on the Facebook lately.
Yeah.
I think Max is indicating that he wants to stay on. Canavan's stripped and ready to come on if required. Free kick we're taking for the right hand side. Delivered front post, but it's too easy. Robert Gallagher will pick that up.
The goal seemed to knock the stuffing out of Clydebank a wee bit.
It did,
Despite the
aye.
fact they're answered into 10.
I think the boys might have a word to them at half time.
I think having just finally got our noses in front against the 10 and everybody sort of expecting the balance of play to turn a wee bit, and Ants have went no chance.
They need 2 wins to league. It's a bit flat for me. Subs just warming up there. I think if it stays like this, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple of changes early in the second half.
I think there'll be a couple at half time.
It's poor from Clydebank, a good from the Ants. They've pressed very hard.
Ants have done really well.
Aye.
They've done really well since we went to 10 men. Kept their shape. Scored a really good goal. Could have been ahead. Hats off to them. They've done really well.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with them. Still very slack for Clydebank, getting the ball away again.
Chance now. Kobe just can't get the ball under control, just fizzed it him a wee bit.
Aidan looks like he's picked up a knock there as well.
Referee will stop the game.
They've got a strong bench tonight. I will say that. They've got Tino on the bench, who's obviously been in about the first team. They've got boy Callum McEwen, who's been really patient in training with them. He's came from St Cadoc's. So they've got options on the bench.
David Lundberg said he missed that. He never heard, he just heard his name and he doesn't know what we were saying, so I've just decided that we're not going to repeat it.
I'll see him tomorrow.
Be afraid.
Davy's daughter's doing very well, putting in goals at the moment for her team.
Cost him a fortune, all these clean sheets.
Isn't apparently
I'm
in
pretty
March.
sure he's a teacher, I'm pretty sure he can afford it.
Well, apparently in March he's told Katie that he's going to double the clean sheet bonus. So hopefully she's successful.
Very generous, Davy.
It's a good cross. Comes in. Oh!
He's got to score, isn't he?
He's got to
He's got
finish
at least hit the
that.
target for there.
Aidan Craig coming in at the back post.
Good ball for Ben. Yep,
Ben Bradshaw pings it across.
Coming off. Is
And
that
that-
Jamie that's coming on?
Substitutional happening now. It's Jamie Canavan.
Yeah. He's been in about first team. Goalies with Phil on a Tuesday night. Phil rates him. Been working closely with Phil, as Phil does with all the goalies. So interesting to see him in a game. I've actually not seen him in a game. He's just seen him in training. So a wee opportunity for him, albeit hope Max is all right. But as I said, it's a wee opportunity for Jamie there to show it. He's probably been patient as well with Max keeping that jersey most of the season.
It's always difficult for goalkeepers coming in when it's like any other position. You've got the chance of getting minutes here, there, and everywhere, and goalkeepers tend to be either an injury or a couple of mistakes.
You need to look at our situation. We obviously Jambo been brilliant for us since he's came on board. A couple of injuries this season, and Jamie's been flung in maybe unexpectedly, and it's his jersey for now. Hopefully, Jambo's got a slight ankle knock, quite strained that he's not recovered from yet. Hopefully, he's back as soon as possible.
Slack again, good pressing for Ants, but
Trying to force passes, it's no on.
early doors we talked about how patient they were with the ball, keeping the ball moving it from side to side, and now maybe feeling the pressure a wee bit against the 10 men and try to force it.
I think as well when you're trying to force it, it's also playing a bit slow for me. Another giving a cheap ball away there as well. You need to try and get 3 or 4 passes together in the middle of the park, or get it out wide nice and early where there's space. It's a big massive park. You need to make them work with the 10 men, but you can only do that if your use of the ball's good.
We've talked a lot about the fitness of teams and can they keep that level of pressing up for 90 minutes. With 10 men that's going to be even harder than normal.
I think it's easier when you're basically in the game. It's when you're 3 or 4 down you stop doing that.
If you're out there playing, Kevin, what you saying to these boys and about you?
Can't repeat it. No doubt you'll want your teammates back if you're getting the ball away in daft areas. That's better, keeping the ball, switching it from side to side. Stretch the game a wee bit.
A free kick.
We were being patient with the passing there and then decided they were just going to go long, and again we gave the ball away.
I think every time I've gave it away, Ants have attacked with a bit of pace. They've tried to hit us quickly.
Certainly if they're taking their chances, it'll be a different story at the moment.
Cleared by Nathan Kerr. Go for a throw in. A bit of surprise there, but no protest for the Ants player, so I'll assume the referee got that one right.
Do they ever get it right?
Always.
That's how you always get booked for dissent.
comment.
Don't know if he's watching at the moment, but we'll say a big hello to Colin Donnelly. Talks about the 20s every home game when we come on to Banky's TV and we turn up and he's nowhere to be seen. So he's going to a gig later, I believe. I hope it's worth it.
Got his priorities all wrong, hasn't he?
Really has. He's changed. But I'll give him a wee shout out because he did give us all my stats and stuff that I've been able to use tonight.
Good evening, Cod.
So
Somebody must have written
I
them
was
for
going
him.
to say somebody's typed it up for him because I know he's doing it at a computer. Say hello to Stephen McDonald, he's watching in. As always, offering valued insight that we can't repeat on air. I think the referee would have given offside there if the goalkeeper wasn't successful. Ball just bounces away for Connor Hamilton. Ansel clear again. Just here and there's Davy Lindbergh back in. I have to ask if you've got any new trainers, Kev, because there was thousands of Nike shoes stolen in a great trainer robbery.
Don't own a pair of Nike trainers.
I know, Davy should know better.
Saying I hope my wife's not listening because I need a new pair.
Comes Connor now, tries to go on his right foot, but crowded out to around him every time he gets the ball. Not really getting a chance to.
He's into traffic in there. He's in his right, trying to go on his right foot. He's getting into traffic, trying to take him outside in the box, get a shot with his left foot.
We'll say hello to Julie Keithness. She's just telling us that her godson's playing for the Ants. It's number 6, Kieran Smith. Bradshaw knocks it forward.
Better. That's a better move, Kev.
It'll be a
3
corner
or 4
kick.
passes, got down the line and got a corner kick.
Showed a wee bit of patience there rather than going long. That's better to see.
How long that ball?
40 minutes on the clock. Clydebank looking for a goal to take the lead just before half time.
Let's see what set piece they work.
Go at the back post for Dylan Cole. Gets it back in, but Ant's so clear. Clearance isn't great. Drops to Leroy Shannon.
I'm guessing that was a set piece they worked on at training, just been over hit. It looks at.
Yeah. We first team won that. Went long a lot, isn't it, Kev?
Just no need to go long there.
The handball.
It's
No,
not
the
within
referee says no.
20 yards in, we could have kept the ball.
That's played up the touchline. Done does well. Quite composed.
Quite like the big man. Play with both feet. Done quite well when I've seen him.
He's comfortable on the ball, but I think he's got a tendency to go long when he doesn't have to go. I think he's got
Yeah,
the
he is actually
composure and
comfortable
the
in the ball.
technique that he could keep it a bit better.
Let's try to go long again.
See David Monroe's watching as well. Davy's a Banky's TV loyal. Don't think he misses a game unless he can be here. It's saying something. I don't know how he puts up with listening to me and Cod every other week. It's exceptional.
Just puts it on mute.
Brian's cross is cleared again. Comes Quint.
Just going to try and run him.
He's found McInerney.
It's a foul.
He's fouled.
Done Dylan.
He's held up. There's a nice wee cuddle.
think Dylan realises he's not got the pace to keep him, but
Does well with his body shape
got
there.
his
He's
cell
basically
in
stop his space in behind for running.
Bradshaw tries to win the corner, but no such luck with the.
Frustrating 45. Kev, first 45, it's been a bit frustrating. Not been quite at a slick best.
see, it's very similar to last week. First half, they were a shadow of the team they've been, but second half they took over. Hopefully it's the same this week.
Better say hello to the wife, she's watching in the train as well. Lynn's on her way home from Cheltenham, she was away brewdogging, so she'll be up here for about 10 o'clock.
Evening, Lynn. Safe travels up the road.
She'll not hear you, she'll be drunk.
She was drunk at 3 o'clock, so God knows what she'll be like now.
Is it Sunday you're away?
Sunday morning, Gran Canaria.
Is this your honeymoon?
Aye, aye.
Been married 15 years.
Feels like it. It was great. No, she went away yesterday, and the dog's away to her daughter's, Samantha's, and it was the first night in years I had the bed to myself. And you know, I went to bed at a decent time. I got a good cap and I got up for work, no bother, for the first time in years. So need to reevaluate my life choices. I think it's too late. And of course I'm only kidding on, sweetheart.
What are you shaking your head for then?
Ants are still keeping a good shape in here, even though Clydebank get the ball. They've been really disciplined.
They've worked really, really hard. As
Yeah.
Paul said, would they be able to keep off the 90 minutes?
I had a look at the team lines, Kirky, as well, and I saw them only having the two subs, and I thought they're going to struggle. You know, they're really struggling for bodies, but no, fair play to them. They've
Scottish Saint, I think that's Tino out warming up and now. Wouldn't be surprised if there's even a change at half time or early in the second half. Again, they could get the goal and it could be 3-4-5-1, but they need to go and try and get that second goal, but try and move the ball a wee bit quicker.
That'll be a foul, but the referee plays the advantage. Connor Hamilton finds Bradshaw, he'll fizz it across, and it's just wide. That was the chance, Kirk.
Yeah. Decent bit of play, first real chance they've created in the last couple of minutes with moving the ball about, which you need to just try and keep doing.
Looking for the foul once again.
I think it could have been back in caution that time. Understood why never early doors, but that one I'd have liked to have seen a card. Kirk, you're there at half time. What would you be saying to the boys? You know,
Listen, you can go and give them, you know, a bit of a rocket. I personally wouldn't be doing that. I think you just need to, simple for me, they just need to, Kev's looking at me saying, would I not? I've changed man, Kev. Listen, I think they just need to move the ball quicker, simple as that. Answer down to 10 men, they've got a good shape. You'll break the shape if you move the ball quicker. As I said before, they've got a strong bench tonight in the 20s. I would be maybe looking to use that earlier rather than later. I wouldn't, you know, even making a sub at half time. I think they've been not just quite at it for me. They just need maybe a wee bit of pace with Tino there, or even Cal McEwen coming on, a wee bit of quality out wide. But I wouldn't be panicking just yet. But I think they definitely need to start moving the ball quicker. Again, they've just went long, and that seems to be what they've done most of the first half for me. And it's suited Dance.
No need for them to forcing passes. Just be patient, keep the ball. I'm with you. I don't think I would give them a rocket at half time. I think you just need to be told what they can do and a wee bit of belief in what they have been doing all season.
on the positives, that we've restricted Ants in terms of the chances. They've not created anything for a while. They're maybe pressing high and winning the ball. I mean, I think Jamie Canavan's only had one touch since he came on. I hope I've not just jinxed him, but
And it's a big ask for Ants with 10 men. It's the tiredness will creep in, but I think that's where, again, substitutes could be key, or even just the guys that are on there with the man advantage, just moving it a bit quicker and getting St Ants moving.
The Ants don't look as if they've got many subs either, so that
I think they've got two.
just touched on that when you were away. So they've only got the two subs, and says that was my thinking, was that they're struggling for players. They're going to toil, but they'll be fair to them. As we keep saying, they've kept their shape. They've worked hard. They'll be happy to get in at half time, maybe get a wee breather and just top up the oxygen levels a wee bit and get ready to go again if this fizzles out. Dylan Cole gets a touch, it'll be the corner kick.
Do you think there's any nerves here, Kev, because they're 2 wins away from winning the title? And
Possibly.
Also a wee bit of nerves being associated with being on live. We did it earlier in the season, at early doors, and there was no pressure on them, but there's a decent crowd watching, a couple of hundred watching online. And
is the next home game at home to Gartcairn?
Gartcairn at home
So
in the
essentially
18th.
They've got 2 wins at home to seal the title, do you know what I mean? So maybe a wee bit of nerves. As a
There
half-time
we go,
whistle
there's a
goes,
half-time whistle, just short of 3 minutes added on, half-time. Clydebank 1, St Anthony's 1. Banky's taking the lead with a penalty kick for Conor Hamilton. Martin Miller red carded for a handball on the line. Lewis Quinn with the equaliser, cracking strike. Doesn't quite tell the story, as we keep saying. Hants have been quite impressive.
I think they've had the better chances and more chances, clear-cut chances than we've had in the first half. I'm very impressed with them with the 10 men.
I think Clydebank, the one where Kobe was on the left-hand side, Connor had one where he came in outside, then one across just late on there across the box. But I agree with Kev. St Ant's have definitely the better chances.
We'll move on. Kurt, we started to talk about the academy before kick-off, so talk us through where things are at that level. And just before that, I actually got a message for the gaffer, so he says that Lynn will be kicked mute and my clothes will be in a bag, so he's probably right. Cheers for that, Moff.
What did the gaffer text you?
That Lynn will be kicked mute and my clothes will be in a bag.
He must be listening. He's probably listening to watch what I'm saying, swearing wise, as is a gaffer's gaffer. But I'm in the good books for now, so long may it continue.
So far, so good. So I talk to us about the academy and the involvement you've had.
I've took a step back since sort of the start of the season. I think since I came in, it just needs revamped. And now Paul and Scott and Brian are on it really. But there's been a couple of changes. We changed the 04s and 05s probably predominantly. Were changed in terms of coaching staff, in terms of players. So we sort of revamped that sort of age group for the better. So Andy Murdoch is the 18s manager, and then we brought in Andy Patterson, obviously former Clydebank player and club legend. So he's been in at the 18s this season, which I don't know if a lot of fans know. So he's back in sort of within the involvement in the 18s, feeding into the 20s, and a couple of the 18s have fed into the 20s as well from Andy's group. Andy trains here on a Tuesday and a Thursday before, so worked closely with him. And then the 04s we changed again, so Stephen Murray has got a group there, and they've got a second team as well. So we're just trying to progress that. But I think the academy is for me the past 6 months, I would say, Paul, it's got better. We've put in coaching pathways as well, just not for a pathway for the kids, so a pathway for the coaches. So Brian Boyle's got funding where the guys can actually do their badges, so that's been a massive thing as well. It's not only about having good players in the academy, it's about having good coaches. And I think from this season, from what I can see, I think the coaches have really bought into it with their teams. We've got some really good coaches across all the age groups. Got Davy Mahin's team who's jumped from tier 2 last season to tier 1 this season, so really positive, pushing the boys on, and the proof of the pudding is, I think, the Scottish Cup. We've had ball boys teams for the coaches, and that's what we want to see. We want to see academy, as I said before, academy coaches and players at the 20s and at the first team, and to see where they want to get to. So it's been really good.
It's great to see that, and seeing all the kids doing with the tracksuits and stuff, like you say, at all the games. The Scottish Cup run brought everybody out, and I think that was a real positive. Something I'll go back to one of the players that signed in the summer, and he came in and he says to me that when he came down to talk to the gaffer, he was amazed to see all the Clydebank academy teams out training, all wearing Clydebank gear, and it was one of the things that sold it to him, that was more important than some of the financial offers that were out there.
Aye, listen, I think the Scottish Cup has been a massive part of that. I think it's grown the community together, it's grown the club together, the fans, I'm sure they've, Elgin and Telly, Elgin away, Clyde, even the Annan game, albeit it was a heart-wrenching result, it was an unbelievable cup tie with an unbelievable atmosphere. And I think if you're an academy player watching that, it'll spur you on. If you're a coach, it'll spur you on, and that's what Clydebank's about. It's a community club with academy teams, and it's been brilliant. You know, as I said before about the ultras there, absolutely excellent. And I think for me that's been the biggest thing that I've seen this season, not just with the first team. I think it's that real togetherness from the committee down to the first team. You know, the players. I believe our players are Clydebank fans. You know, we give all for the jersey, and that togetherness has been right throughout the 20s, into the academy teams, into the coaches, and it's shown in the terrace as the backing's been absolutely tremendous.
And I think touching on the Scottish Cup run and what you're saying there, when you saw the emotions in the players, not just winning games, but when we lost to Annan as well, you saw what it meant to them, and being a part of the club, the disappointment, the hurt, you know, that was raw.
I think, you know, it was a really tough one, Paul. I think, you know, we don't want to go over again, so to speak, but listen, it was a brilliant cup run. All credit to the players, they're absolutely tremendous. As I said before, giving fans, for me, some of the best days in their Clydebank careers. There's been better players at Clydebank that haven't achieved that, and they deserve all the praise that they've got. You know, there was a slight hangover after the Scottish Cup. You know, that's probably just natural, but listen, for the community and the club, and you know the press we got, it was brilliant. And listen, it'll come back round next year and we go again, but until then we've got lots of stuff going on. We obviously end the season campaign and the cup, and you know we want to finish high up league as possible and go further into this cup, and the Scottish Cup will come back round for everyone, for fans, for players. But it was brilliant. It was something definitely that I'll treasure for as long as in my career. Never mind as long as I'm here. And I think everybody can basically enjoy it and look back on it. We're in an old folks' home, remembering it all.
We'll come back to that in a wee minute. I'm just having a wee look through Twitter, and obviously the gaffer's gaffer had said the commentary is excellent tonight, and she thought that was a cracking comment because she even liked her own tweet. What's that all about? He's too scared to say anything, Grace. Quick look through Twitter. Brett Lawson missed the first 10 minutes. Co-commentators are Kevin Stanley and Kirk Forbes that I'm speaking to at the moment. Looking through the other names: Jeff King, Stuart McSporran, good to have you. Anthony McKenna for the Ant side. Clydebank Sunday side, they're here, 2:30. Play Ashfield in the top of the table clash. Boys have scored some amount of goals this season as well.
Who's that, sorry, mister?
The Clydebank Sunday team.
Aye, well there, I think Ryan's got them going for the league as well. He's done some job, aye. Seen him a couple of times. They're going for the league as well, so hopefully can pull that off as well.
That's a 2:30 kick-off down here at Home Park, so if you're free on Sunday, make your way down.
I think actually Ryan's had the boy Kevin in there, and he's actually went from the Sunday team to the 18s as well.
Brilliant. Again, showing that pathway right across the board. Plenty of comments coming in. Stevie Dugan, Andy Smith, just commenting on the cracking goal for Ants. See what else I can see. Stuart McSporran. Here's a question for Stuart McSporran. Is it a good thing or a bad thing for young players' development playing constantly on AstroTurf rather than grass in this day and age, or does it really matter? Kev?
I would probably say that that's a bad thing. I don't think you get much give on the AstroTurf. I always prefer to play on grass myself, but it makes for a better spectacle because you can play football basically in any weather. You can get the ball down and play it. As you've seen with the first team last week, points at Caddocks, how bad the pitch was, made free-flowing football a bit difficult, but I think long term it's a bad thing. I can speak from my daughter's point of view, playing in America, where they seem to all playing AstroTurf. The amount of ACL injuries you see, it's really bad over there.
I'm in a couple of referee forums on Facebook and stuff like that. I've seen the status some of the AstroTurf pitches over in America as well. They're not well looked after.
I'm not on any of them forums.
Your name is, it's just you're not a member. We've got Joe Carson watching as well. Jim Wright giving me pelters for my comments about the wife. It's all said in jest, of course. Joey Muir's there. He says, want to be Bankies, Paul Mooney for president. We'll be having none of that.
I'll give a wee shout out to the local boxing club of Clydebank Osprey. They've got 2 boys fighting tomorrow in the Youth and Novice Western Districts Championships. That was the phone call I took there. For Barry, my uncle that runs the club. Two boys fighting tomorrow, so hopefully they do well.
Good luck to them, and I'll speak to you about boxing later on. Actually, I've got something I need to speak to you about, Kev. Well, I remember.
He wants to fight you.
On the
Fine,
park,
that suits me.
live.
Ding ding.
Grace is saying decent first half, need to retain and pass the ball a bit better in the second half. I don't think we can argue with that. Lee Cunningham's out there as well. Graham McDougall, disappointed at the end of the first half.
Lee, he's a diehard, isn't he? He's a proper Bankies diehard.
Yeah, isn't that some tattoo in it?
Bankies in his hand, aye. He's diehard, brilliant, cracking boy.
Derry
Him
McPherson,
his dad.
sorry mate, cutting you off. Derry McPherson saying he's surprised about a good reaction he's getting about the town when he wears his Bankies gear these days, that everybody's interested.
I would say that the cup runs gave the whole town a lift, and it's kind of raised the profile of the club locally and nationally.
Definitely.
We'll say hello to Auntie Jane and Uncle Don.
Good
They're
evening.
watching at
Auntie
home.
Jane, Uncle Don.
They're enjoying the coverage as well, so that's great. You'll see you've still got the donate a ticket up there, so get your pennies out for the boys. That is the 20s kitty that this is for the night. The ants are back out, the 10 men. You scan that QR code, type in the address, whatever. It'll ask you for £3. You're more than welcome to take the £7 option, and that'll all go into the boys' funds. We'll be live again tomorrow, 2 o'clock kick-off. That'll be on the pay-per-view. We'll get the link out for that in the morning. Hope you can join us. Kirk, what's the thoughts on tomorrow?
A tough game, obviously old club. Previously coming here, and there's obviously a lot of people that are here now that played there. Obviously they've slightly changed now, new sort of takeover. But listen, tough game, as they all are in this league. But we want to build on building obviously the 3 wins, building the performance, and just it'll be a tough game. Some old friends coming back. It'll be good to see Dom, but listen, we just need to take care of ourselves and look to get 3 points on the board again, and we're going to have a dominant performance hopefully.
You were there quite a while. You had good times at Rossville Cup.
It was just 5 years, yep. Brilliant, obviously won the league with the gaffer and promotion, and brilliant, really good club, good people there. Obviously in a wee tricky situation now with the league with 7 going down, but not really good memories there. And I think I've said before that's what they are now, their memories, and we'll rock into tomorrow, and hopefully we Clydebank get 3 points.
Opportunity to go for 4 wins in a row and forget about that hangover we were talking about. That's long gone.
We want to win every game. We want to play well in every game. That's the target. We've had that hangover, but we've had 3 wins. Showed a bit of character late on against Blantyre the other night from the penalty. We're down to 10 men for the large part. So yeah, we want a dominant performance tomorrow with 3 points, and then we'll rock on. I think we've got then a free beating and we've got medals. So we'll look to tomorrow. Look forward to it. Another game at home. Hopefully the fans are out, and it'll be a tricky game, but hopefully the boys are at it. And we continue on with another win to make it 4 in a row.
I'll second that, and like you say, if you're at a loose end tomorrow, get yourself done here. Join Kevin in the shed with the Ultras.
That was a poor performance against Rossville up there, wasn't it?
It was
Very, very stuffy.
midweek game, cold, freezy, windy. It's always a tough place to go, Peasy, with the win. But I didn't, to be honest with you, Kev, I didn't think we played particularly well. I didn't think we moved the ball quick enough at all. I think when teams want to sit in against us, we need to move the ball quickly, and you need to break them down. And we didn't really look threatening all night. But listen, the boys have been excellent this season. We've had a couple of blips here or there. We know where we need to improve. We're on a winning run of 3 wins, so we just need to rock in tomorrow, and I think it'll be the same thing. Let's move the ball quickly and make them work, and go and get another 3 points.
I think that particular Rossville game was a bit similar to the Bonneton game, where they both came on the back of a doing and obviously had a point to prove to themselves, having both conceded 8. That made it quite hard for us.
They sat in and played for a point because they had put a bit of a beating in the last game. Just to echo Kirk's thoughts on the club as well. Very well run club, Rossville. Very good friend of mine, Dom McAnally, the president of the club. Lovely guy.
It's another one of your 53 former clubs, Kevin, is it?
52.
52, sorry.
And as you said, Boy Gafford touched on that in his team talks in terms that two teams that have played on off the back of doings, they're going to make it difficult for you, do you know what I mean?
You can't expect teams to turn up and just roll over and make it easy for us. They're always going to make it difficult.
Listen, kid, there's no easy games in that league at all. You've got to earn the right to go and play. You've got to go and work your backside off. From minute 1 to 95, you get no easy games in that league. You get what you put in.
Yeah, it showed a bit of character the other night. Down to 10 men and still battling away right to the end.
I thought we were good after. I thought we were dominant first 20 minutes. Sending off changes the game. A bit like the Beef game away. I thought our shape was good. Wee bit of a sloppy goal. And then, you know, we get the goal back from the penalty. It's a Stonewall penalty. Liam Harris does really well to recover the ball out to Burnell, who puts the ball in. It's a Stonewall penalty, and happy for Archie. Obviously not been playing as much as he'd like to now. He's been really patient. Comes on and, you know, gets his winner with a well taken penalty.
It was Craig Donaldson getting into the book for Ants there just a wee second ago for the foul. It was a real positive the other night that we Blantyre scoring late on, that we just get straight back in about it. You know, we didn't let it affect us. We kept the same style and we went chasing it, and like you say, it was a Stonewall penalty and well taken by Archie.
Yeah, I think we've done that quite a few times. I remember Cumbernauld here, Irvine Meadow, Darvel. We've came back late, you know, and that's part of the game. You go to the whistle and, you know, try to dominate as much as possible. Are we playing absolutely excellent now? Probably not, no, but listen, the boys, it's not through a lack of work. The boys have been absolutely excellent, and for me, we deserve to win the other night, and you know, we can go into tomorrow a wee bit of confidence and hopefully put another 3 points on the board. I think we play the bottom half teams at home, and I think the top half teams we play away from home. Our away form's been excellent, bar Benburb, I think 1 defeat in 2 years, so listen, still loads to play for, all starting back tomorrow.
Yeah, as you say, sometimes you just got to dig a result out, which you did on Tuesday night.
I think that's a sign of good teams as well, isn't it? Is having two ways of winning games. You can win playing brilliant and it's great, but sometimes you just need to win games of football and get 3 points on the board, and that's what we've been doing lately.
And the Gafford said that against Bonington, you know, the performance wasn't pretty, but we just needed to get back to winning ways and get 3 points. And I think at this stage of the season as well, I think you just want to put 3 points on the board every single game. You get to that stage of the season where you're trying to play well all the time, but we want to finish high up as possible and go far deep in the cup. And 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, and if we can put in a performance with it, which ultimately we want to do, we want to work on it training. But listen, we're here to win games of football, more importantly.
You through the season winning 1-0 playing scrappy, nobody remembers how bad the games were and you win the league.
I don't know how many 1-0s we've had. I think maybe Benburb we've won 1-0 here at home during the midweek.
I think that might be the only 1-0. There's been plenty of goals. Maybe that's the other positive. You know, we're not the top scorers in the league, but there's very few games where there's no been goals.
Second half started a bit like the first half, Kev, you're in it. It's a bit still slow, sloppy. It's a bit
maybe try to play it a wee bit more on the ground, right enough.
better.
Nice wee interchange there, but
Lucky.
good defending. We'll get the corner kick.
Better, a wee bit of link-up play there from Aidan and Hammy.
The difference of keeping the ball on the ground.
See what corner they work. They work now.
Yeah, Adam Smith will take it, left-footed, just in front of us. It's right on top of the goalkeeper. Nowhere near it, but
Keeper no man's land.
it's just knocked wide of that back post by Dylan Cole.
Similar to the corner in the first half.
Is that why Dylan's only scored twice this season by finishing like that?
Chin him for that later.
Perhaps.
I think he's maybe not expecting it actually, the way the keeper comes out there. I think the keeper's lost that. We'd probably say the floodlights.
Blocked it out, aye.
Looks as if there's a substitution, Kev, now.
Does indeed, I think that looks like
as,
Callum McEwen.
Callum
It's
McEwen coming on it.
warming up.
A double
Possibly
substitution.
Tino as well.
It
I
is,
thought that, said that earlier on. I thought that'd be the two subs.
Call early in the second half as well, just 6.5 minutes into the second half.
Possibly
So
take Ben off and Aidan, Kevin, put Tino up with Hammy and put Callum wide right.
good feet for Hamilton there. Solid defending for Kieran Gulzine. Clydebank regain possession. It's O'Brien over on the left hand side. Does well, he's got support. Crosses
Defended really
blocked.
well again. St Cadoc's out in wide areas.
Even though it's St Anne's.
Playing two teams at once.
St Anne's.
Gary Mack's watching as well, he's enjoying the banter, so good to hear from him.
Gaz, how are we, my man? See you tomorrow, pal.
There's another one that's calmed down since he stopped playing.
Has he, aye?
When?
He'd have fooled me.
I was trying to be kind to him.
Again,
running into
three
traffic.
people. St Cadoc's, jeez. St Anne's there, three guys in the middle of the park, and they're just, Ben's just getting into trouble.
They're just killing
I
his
keep
pace.
getting St Cadoc's mixed up with, who did you keep calling? Somebody Cumbernauld?
Cumnock, wasn't it?
Aye,
I think we were playing Hurlford and I kept calling him Cumnock.
Aye. Listen, guys in the gaffer will tell you I am terrible with names. Terrible. We've signed 4 guys this season they've not even heard of. No joking.
Any of
We've
them
got-
scored it?
No. I'm reading going, who's that playing? Kevin Black. It's actually Chris Black and Kevin Green, but I've got them together, so it's Kevin Black. I'm going to see starting. Gaffer's going, who's that? And I'm going, play centre half. We don't have a Kevin Black.
Well, maybe we should get one and have a look at him.
Aye.
Some lovely one-touch football there, and then again they try to force a long ball.
My man at the dugout's confirming it's 15 and 18, so it is Callum McHugh and Martin Smith that are coming on.
I would say Ben and then Aidan probably come off.
It's a long range effort for done. It's
Ambitious, Evan, to say the least.
no great.
The changes coming out.
I thank Harkey for that. Harkey's desperate to be involved in Banky's TV. He's went to the dugouts to tell me who the subs are. He's our Bianca Westwood.
He's too busy doing last man standing.
I was hoping to get him up to do a wee bit about that. So last
Brilliant.
man standing's
Listen, he's
ready
done
to
really
start
well.
again
It's
next
brought
week.
in a lot of money for the club.
Brilliant,
Fair
he's been
play to
absolutely
Harkey.
excellent doing
Don't
that.
like praising him because I'm not here the end of it.
I get papped out every first round, mind you, but he's been excellent doing that. Some big wins as well for people, brilliant.
It's been great. And John Brown winning
I'm not gonna-
£1,600 last week.
I'm not going to say I'm right, Kev, but I'm right. Tino went up front with Hammy, and then Callum went. We've kept Aidan on actually, so it looks as if Tino's maybe playing off a front two there.
It was Aidan Cairns that went off, so they did take Aidan off. Just the
You
other
see,
one.
There's names again.
See?
Right, just the wrong guy.
Just
Tino never really plays as an out-and-out striker when he plays anyway. He tends to play off Hammy.
There you go, pace in behind again.
struggles to get that
He
first
played,
touch.
obviously come on wide for us and scored his goal by cutting inside. He likes to do that. And then he started against St Cadoc's, no St Anne's, St Cadoc's, and he played in the left. But he tends to play up front more for the 20s, blister and pace, where he can actually get the option to go out wide.
He struggled a wee bit at the Ants Park when he played St Cadoc's. Just with the surface.
Who were we playing that day?
St somebody.
Cumbernauld.
I think the last time I was here, the two of them played up front, him and Connor, and they scored 7 between
They
them.
were
So
excellent that night. I was here. Yep.
done again, just looking for the runner Smith.
They obviously went for it with the 10 men, but you just need to watch. There's too many bodies out in that area. Do you know what I mean? St Anne's have still got the back four. They've got two sitting in front. There's a lot of bodies in there. They need to keep moving it quickly. Clydebank.
A lot of pace on the outside as well, so if it does break down, they could pick you off.
Yeah. Tino dropping off there.
Nice flick. 1-2.
Great move. Great move.
Oh, he should have shot.
I think he maybe slipped that a wee bit earlier, Kev, when Leroy's coming in, took an extra touch
He
here.
was unlucky there, didn't have to take the touch, but again, good defending for the
Aye.
Ants.
I think I'd like to see Aidan Craig take the shot when it just seemed to open up for him.
Aye.
That again, maybe just a wee bit of nerves. You feel that they're pushing it too much and nobody wants to take that responsibility of having a crack.
I think if there's still plenty of time to go, but if it stays a draw, Paul, am I right in saying that then they won't be able to win the league at home to Gartcairn and then need to go another game?
Wouldn't be right unless Johnson Borough have got a game at some point in there. I don't know their fixtures, but
Listen, still plenty of
that'd
time.
be
Hopefully we can
dependent. But you know, we're
get a winner. It'd be great to see them win it against Gartcairn at their home park, in front of their fans. It's 2v2 here.
this is what we talked about. You know, if you lose the ball and let Ants attack with that pace they've got, but well defended. You know, they've got 4 or 5 back behind
good
there to
ball,
support
Evan.
each other. There's a chance for corner.
Good.
Get the open goal, and there it is.
Well done.
There it is.
Great
You
finish.
know,
Great.
fantastic finish here for
Great
Connor
ball for-
Hamilton.
If he done,
Yeah, we're talking about that in the first half, Kevin. What you said, spot on. He's tried to go long more times than I've seen him this season, but that's a centre half splitting a back two in half. That's a great ball, great run from Hammond. As soon as he rounds your keeper's never finishing, but spot on, Kevin. What you said first half when he was going long. Great pass there, really good. I like Evan. I think he plays with both feet. Spoke to his dad quite a few times this season as well. He's a decent player. It was a great pass.
that was a great pass, great through ball, cut the two of them. Great finish for
You know,
Connor.
keeper commits, you know, and makes it easy for Connor.
Could be another penalty there as well. I think keeper maybe could
If he
take
goes
him down
down,
and
aye,
Hammy
aye.
knows if he can get it down them and he scores rather than getting the penalty. So hopefully he can go on and make it 3 or 4 now.
Feel sorry for Big Evan there because the replay doesn't pick up his pass. You know,
Again, try to force the
Just-
pass, it's no on.
Yeah. It's actually a great run as well from Hammy for the goal. Going across the centre half there and forcing Evan to play that.
That makes
slide the
Evans'
pass.
mind up for him.
Yeah. Banky's ultras now. A bit louder after that goal.
so having a wee bounce. Good on them. They'll be warming up for tomorrow.
Yep, quite right. Tino's awful deep there.
I was just going to say, he doesn't have to drop that deep to get on the
He's
ball.
right on the edge of the box. I don't know if I want to see Tino there. Especially when we've got an extra man.
I think that's a bit of frustration.
He's just a
Just
bit
want to make
desperate, I
things
think, to get
happen.
on the ball, aye.
It's a bit endeavour. It's just been on the bench, came on at one each, just once on the ball, aye. They've still got every man behind the ball. St Anne's are still trying to stay in this game here at 2-1. Every man behind the ball, still sitting with a decent shape, to be fair. I think Clydebank need to go and try and get another goal to break that a wee bit, because I think at 2-1 St Anne's are still in the game.
I totally agree. I think if they get another goal, I think they might finish the game off.
I think you
If
can
this
see a wee
happened
bit of tiredness creeping in as well that we thought might happen
That's why.
when they press. You know that it looks lazy. It just looks tired. Again, the pace comes through and cool defending for Dylan Cole. There's a big ask to press that for 90 minutes with 11. Never mind with 10.
Done it really well, to be fair. He's been very disciplined. He's going to go and shift a chip here.
It's a long range up. Maybe Canavan's got that covered. Worth a bash. You know, we've seen it a couple of times this season when Nicky's goal against Cumnock sticks out. But
Goal this season for me.
commentary this season, I think it was on Twitter. So
That Spank the Monkey
Uh-huh.
goal. Great finish, great commentary.
So they cut that out, didn't they?
Did that not have some amount of views in
that was ridiculous.
some TV channel or
Aye.
something?
It was a few for the terrace used it, Kev, later on.
Strike.
Hit it.
Hit it. Oh, he's probably just hit it
Target there.
too well. Leathers it.
Done well to open the space up for himself and then snatched at it.
I actually think, Paul, you're talking about the academy at half time now. I think actually boy Ewan is in at the 04s, sorry, 05s. He's actually on the bench tonight for Scottish 20s team. So again, part of that pathway we spoke about.
That Ewan McMillan.
So
good
he used
to
to be actually, Drew actually, believe it or not, coached them at Motherwell. Was it Motherwell when he was younger? He's now in Stevie Murray's side and he's been in training with the 20s a couple of times and Scottish pulled him into the squad tonight.
I think that's brilliant. You know, that's just that continuous pathway. You know, a lot of people look at the first team in the 20s, but not realising how deep it runs now.
It works its way back, 20s going to the first team, some of Andy Murdoch's 04s have been into the 20s, and Stevie's team more recently have fed one or two in. Goalkeeper George has been there, Ibrahima has been in there as well, so there's a wee flux sort of feeding in, which needs to happen to the 20s, because obviously next season they're going to lose a lot of them.
And I touched on that with Scott at the weekend, Tuesday night. The job that they'll have with losing so many and bringing guys in, and obviously they'll not all come for the next age group, they'll come for different clubs as well. They'll be out looking and watching games.
So almost a total rebuild for the 20s for next season.
Yes, well, Scott put the the total job on Cod and Paul to go out and sort it out. So
I think they're losing 9 or 10, Kev. Aye. And listen, winning leagues here, and the whole setup, Kev said the other day, the Scottish Cup, that'll help not just the first team.
It's a chance.
That's Aidan and Connor should both be hitting target there. Kev said with the Scottish Cup run, it's not just good for the first team, it's actually good for the coaches, the academy teams, to get players in to say, listen, here's what you could get. So they'll go and it'll help Scotty attract players on the back of that, and it'll help the coaches down the line. There's another substitution here.
I'm just getting confirmation that
I think that's Aidan, and I think was it Ben that's coming on?
16. I think it's Ryan Dewar. He'll come on for Aidan Craig, who's of course sponsored by the Mad Bush Beer.
I think you've mentioned that a couple of times.
That's what I pay for.
A couple of chances you're not hit target. I could have been maybe at least made it 3-1.
So the more chances you miss, they'll keep them in the game.
It's a good pick for Jamie Canavan there. Don't know if he meant that, but it's leading to a positive attack. It's a nice ball just behind him.
He's offside.
He looked offside. The referee will play it.
Offside.
Claim for a
offside
penalty as well.
Offside there.
It's hard for the officials at this level when they don't have the assistants. That'll be a free kick. I refereed the same level up in Aberdeen, and you got assistants for the 20s and the 18s, and the players, they took so much from it. It was good for them.
Must be difficult for the ref, and there's nobody in this line down here at all.
Comes to the back post. Dunn and Hamilton.
They've got a tough job, I'll say that.
Grudgingly. Grudgingly.
My pals.
I'd have loved reffing used to.
Would you have?
I would have.
There's not many refs that will say that, I can assure you.
I've got personality, mate, that's the difference.
I never gave the refs much stick.
Remember, me and Gary Mack were in the same team, imagine that. Imagine refereeing me and Gaz Mack in the same team.
Listen to Kev saying I never gave refs stick. I remember him getting sent off for sticking up for his wee brother and shouting at a referee for about the next 2 hours.
It was a neck high tackle, to be fair.
But he's 4 foot too. No, Stuart Kelly's watching us upstairs, but he must be due as another coffee. Hamilton's cross is wasteful.
I still think St Anne's have been quite comfortable, Kev. I know they're 2-1, they've had a couple of chances there, not hitting the target. I think St Anne's have been quite comfortable here.
Still causing problems when they go forward as well, when they break.
Saying that, I think Scotty and Paul, they'll take the 2-1, stays like that, they take the win, they know they can go into the Gartcame game at home and win in front, own fans. That would be brilliant for them. So it's maybe not been great, but when they're going for a title, just get the win.
We should have flag will go up here, but it won't, because there's no one.
Get a win, and then they know they can go and hopefully enjoy finishing the job at home here, at home at Gartcairn.
I think if this finishes 2-1, it's a bit like we touched on the first team. Sometimes you just need to win games and get the 3 points.
Yep, totally.
Talking about Big Evan there, there's the difference. When he plays football, does he go long? Just
He's
chances
looking for the
again,
pass,
yeah.
aye. I think maybe 7 and 10, Connor gets away with that as well because there's no assistance. You know, when he's got the pace, he doesn't need to go early, but
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you get the benefit of that. There's a wee injury here.
Kobe's got a slight, looks as if he's got an ankle knock. Is that Paul Way's physio bag or a handbag?
Ah, he's going to the dancing after us.
Asking you, shall I see?
He must have heard you, Paul.
Oh, there he is. There's the coffees.
What's that Keith Lemon bandage you've got in your hand?
Long story. 2 seconds. Coffee was just leaving home.
Is this what it's like, Banky's TV every week? Just coffees and
Oh, aye, that's
chat?
brilliant. We're well
Aye.
looked after. You know, we're well looked after.
Coffees and talk nonsense with you and Cod.
As we do, we talk a lot of nonsense, and
is
but
the partner back in crime tomorrow with you?
he'll be back tomorrow. We try to talk nonsense about both teams and a wide range of subject as well. You know, we had some good conversations last week. Last week we were doing phrases in football that annoy you these days. You know, and talking about things like playing between the lines and false number 9s, daft things that have crept into the game.
What
So
about zone 42?
that came up. We couldn't remember
Yeah,
what
Man
zone the
United
Man U
doing
boy
one,
came up with,
he
but
is, yeah,
you know.
let's be honest, he is a rocket.
you know, but we had a good chat about that. So no, we've got a wide range of topics, and we get some good interaction with the folks at home that can't be here.
Absolute
Zone
nonsense.
The gaffer talks like that in the changing room, Kev.
Thanks, Stuart. There's
So,
my
season
coffee. I
one
hope
move
I've
on.
got biscuits as
Aye.
well. Fantastic.
There's been another substitution there. I think that's yeah, Big Seamus has come on up front for Aiden. So am I right in saying that? No. Yep. So Aiden's went off and Big Seamus has went up front.
Oh, Aidan went off at last sub.
The other Aiden.
No, that was the second Aidan went off at last sub.
So Kobe's went off.
Kobe's went off with his
Seamus,
injury.
Seamus another one that's came through. So he was another one that's came through from. He came moved from Chapel, came into the 04s, done really well. Swiftly moved up to the 20s. He's been at the 20s ever since. Seamus only 17, 18. So there's another one. He's played at the back the majority of the time, and he's obviously come on up front tonight.
I was actually, not that my knowledge of the team's great, but I thought he was maybe a defensive player. So when you said he came on up front, I thought
Well,
it was
he actually
a different planet.
striker for Drumchapel, and then he sort of flexed through. He's actually had a couple of training sessions with the first team. He predominantly played at the back, but he can play up front as he's doing tonight.
It's a great ball, but well defended.
I've seen him playing at the back a couple of times for the 20s. He looks quite comfortable playing there
Big
as well.
strong boy, aye, and still
As long as you can
again.
keep him out the pub on a Saturday night, you'll be fine.
His dad Liam, he's got a really good head on his shoulder. Seamus as well. He's a good boy. He's not played recently a lot. He's been in and he's not really played a lot the last 3 or 4 weeks. He played more at the start. So good to see him getting a run out tonight. Hopefully he's picked up a couple of injuries tonight with obviously Kobe and Max, so hopefully they're alright. The guard can get him.
Yeah. Nope, well defended with through in.
Again, he defended well.
They defended well in wide areas where Clydebank are strong. They've kept that rigid shape all the way through, and it's kept them in the game, Kev, because they're still in the game here.
Did you say they beat them quite easily earlier on in the season?
Aye, but I felt second half they're a bit huffed and puffed, Clydebank. I think Rory scored 2 that night.
Oh, what a
Right,
strike!
a strike, Leroy.
What a strike!
Lovely
Leroy
finish.
Shannon.
Bit of magic. Sometimes you just need a bit of magic. That's 2 great goals we've seen tonight.
It really is, and you would think now that third goal should
Hopefully
just make
settle
a wee
them down.
bit more
Hopefully
comfortable
settle down
and
they
see
can
the
start playing the
stages.
football they've been playing all season.
I would say it's definitely a bit harsh on the ants.
Great strike. Sometimes you need that, but just a wee bit of magic to open up a pop and goal. So great strike.
Again, they were patient that time before they get the shot
Yep.
away.
Great strike. Goalkeeper's nowhere near that.
I think Leroy, did he get man of the match last week? against Pollock.
Might have done, I can't remember, it was on Facebook. Man of the match, of course, sponsored by the Love It. It's good to see that every week. Again, a big shout out to the sponsors, the Love It jersey sponsors, DS Interiors, who are the match ball sponsor, and of course tied in with breathing space, the same as the first team. Loads of player sponsors out there as well, so hats off to everybody. If I had them on in front of me, I would read them all out, but I've only got Aidan Cairns, and he's of course... Nah, it wasn't Aidan Cairns, he's off for it.
Good move, strike.
Yes! There's another one.
Good. Delighted for Seamus, as I said before, Kev. He's not played a lot of football there. He's mainly playing at the back. Comes on, and we were talking about that earlier. Just guys coming on and maybe not playing in their position. We spoke about Ocean. We spoke about Liam Harris for the first team. Sometimes you've got to do that. I'm delighted for him. Comes on, gets his goal. Brilliant, great finish. Good move as well.
He's done well since he came on. You say he's taking his chance. Great finish.
I think that's all you can do, Kevin. You're not playing on the side and you're maybe getting 10 or 15 minutes here or there. Your training becomes massive part of it. Your attitude, your discipline to keep just getting the head down. So yeah, delighted for Seamus. Great finish, nice wee move.
It's very easy for boys of that age just to no come to training if they're not playing. Or
yeah.
Just seen a comment from earlier that Joey Muir saying that the commentary is a lot more sensible than normal. And he still wants Paul Mooney for president, so... Well, the commentary may be getting better, the comments are still as bad.
His first aid handbag.
That's because I've been well warned about my behaviour. And ball.
No getting that one.
I think his hands were by his side, to be fair.
I would still be going mental for that on a Saturday.
I thought you were changed.
No. Oh.
It's a chance. Oh, good goalkeeper.
Like first half for them, from when they were through and goal. Be sloppy from the keeper there. Just shows you, Kev, just a couple of goals change the game. And now cranked up a wee bit in terms of tempo. Clydebank moved St Ant's about a wee bit more. Created a couple of good chances in there along with the goal.
The difference is they're not playing the ball long.
Yeah, and it looks as if now St Ant's are now tiring. That's a corner kick. And I've been off my nut about that and all. That's another one.
I think I read
Joey's saying you're a changed man here.
I think I read Joey's message twice, but
go
it
from
doesn't
change
matter.
to maybe just calmer.
More relaxed, just going too far, I think, eh?
Has Kirky swore you £10 an expletive?
Who was that?
Oh, you know who that was. I'm no naming names.
That's Stephen Murray.
Missed one for the chair 15 minutes ago. She asked if that's Connor's 100,000th goal of the season. I hope no, because he's on a big bonus when he reaches it.
As if Connor's just playing off the two strikers and Connor's just dropped off a wee bit there.
Tino's went out wide now.
I think there was another change there as well. For the Ants it was.
Ants made a change.
Daniel Sees, I think that is. I'm not sure if that's right way to pronounce that, but it would be the first time I've got a name wrong this season.
I actually think playing wide's Tino's best position.
I think you've just got that blistering direct pace.
Yep.
A bit sloppy from Nathan there. Gives a bit of corner.
But if Tino's going to play in that position, that he's got to work back as well. I think that's something he's got to add to his game.
Aye, that's nothing. I think you've seen in our, in the first team, you look how hard at our wide guys work. I mean, Lee Gallagher's one of the best in the league at it for me in terms of brilliant going forward, but he totally knows his job defensively. I think that's just part of the modern day game. You need to work off the ball, simple as that.
Corner to the Ants.
For man at the back again.
Sean McBrearty will take it. Fizzed right across. Keeper does well, gets a hand onto it. Winner corner. Jane Hamilton's commenting, saying that there's a few good players in the 18s. Sure they'll get a place in the 20s next season.
Brilliant, good to hear. You say players playing out of position, like Blackie having to fill in at right back the other night, and I thought he done really well.
I thought he was excellent. I thought.
Well, we're taking bets on the terrace and how long he would last before he went down with cramp, but he did well.
Yeah, he's a marathon man, isn't he? Oh, that's a foul. That's a
foul.
Sure,
referee's thinking about it. He's
another injury to another keeper.
I don't want that, me.
Next will be Paul Mooney in goals.
As long as he doesn't wear that bag.
President Paul Mooney.
It looks as if he was up. I thought, just go back to that, Kev, I thought, that's probably a couple of times in the last couple of games we've had to change it. Liam Harris has went to right back and then Blackie's went to sort of wing back. I thought Blackie was excellent the other night, really, really good, and that's what Blackie gives you. He gives you that energy, and obviously higher up the park, he gives you that bit of quality up front when you've seen the Zanin goal. I still moan at him regarding his back to goal and his body shape at times, but he's had some really key games. I think he's started every big game in the Scottish Cup as well. So he started from big games, but he was good the other night as he went out at an unfamiliar position. Sometimes you've got to do that, as you said. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you're saying about boys moving for the 20s. They've got to adapt to where they can play.
I'm not allowed to talk about that. Paul's slyly sending me questions in a bit of paper here, and I'm going, I'll answer that, can't answer that. Listen, there's obviously a lot of boys still to be sit down with the gaffer in terms of contracts and that. Chris Black's won them. We've signed, I think, if you look at it, I think we've signed Jambo, Lee, Sevey.
You're not hearing for Paul at the moment, he's stuffing his face with a pie.
And obviously the rest of the squad will be in talks with Gaffer about signing on, and I think we just wanted it, to be honest with you, Paul, I think just with the run, I think we just wanted to get back to winning games of football and sort of park that to the side. But no, there'll be talks ongoing as the season, and Chris Black will be one of them.
Sensible approach, like you say, just try to get back to basics a wee bit and get wins on the board again and lift everybody.
I think we spoke Gaffer and Gaz spoke to the players at the right time, and again, the guys, let's not beat about the bush. They merited the deals. They've been really good for us. Hodge is another one that's signed who's been excellent for us since he came in, and the rest of the guys will all have their say with the Gaffer, and it'll be up to the Gaffer and Gaz and what we do going forward. And I'd like to think that all the players they want to stay. Why would you want to move the way we're going? And we'll add to the squad again with a bit of quality.
Obviously Kieran having a run of games as well has helped. Fans are starting to see what he can give, what he offers.
I think he's been really frustrated. Obviously a new signing, Kev's trying to come in and show the fans what he can do, and he said he's probably had an injury where we didn't think it was his first serious corner kick. It's his first serious, but it's actually what it was, and it's kept him out for 5 months. But listen, you can see he's a fit guy, and he's athleticism, his electric pace. Still needs to develop for me in terms of his finishing, but I don't think it's a better centre forward in the air. I think him and Wilson are probably the two best, and he's hit a wee bit of purple patch before. I think that's maybe 5 and 5 he's got. So yep, she's signed obviously again for next season. Big player for us, and he wants to be here. It was quite a quick conversation with him in terms of his contract with that. So yep, brilliant, really good player, and looking forward to seeing him more in the Clydebank top.
Corner to back post, a free header. It's got to be touched over the line. It's a goal.
First team set piece that comes off.
Just touched over the line at the back there.
Evan with another assist there, centre half with 2 assists.
Who touched that over the line?
It was number 16. Ryan.
Ryan just on the part a couple of minutes.
Evan with another assist at the back post.
So it makes a big difference to players that want to be here as opposed to players that are chasing money elsewhere.
Listen, you're not at Clydebank, Kev, for money. For me, at Clydebank, because you want to play for a brilliant club, a big club with a brilliant fan base. Brilliant set up, constantly try to improve it. Do you know what I mean? So why would you not want to play here? And I think that's what the boys have bought into it. The Scottish Cup, as we keep going back to it, it's been a massive part of it. But I think you're right, Kev. You need boys that want to be here. And want to do well for the club and for themselves and for the manager, and I think we've got that. And like I say, we'll add to it, as every team will do in the summer. We'll add to it. We'll add competition to it. We'll add quality where we think in areas where we can improve, and that's what we want to try and do. Is basically going whatever we do this season, we want to improve on next season.
Because as you say, it's very easy to go to other clubs and earn more money, but it's obviously not about the money for.
Listen, we've a couple of players that we've signed this season, have signed for us and have had bigger and better offers elsewhere in terms of financial wise. and listen, that's other clubs' prerogative. That's totally fine. But we've signed one or two that have knocked sort of big money back to come to us, and for us now, Kev, to be honest with you, I don't the gap in terms of you talk about wages and all that money wise per week might be a gap with there. See, for me, club wise, there's no gap. For me, facilities wise, Scottish Cup, fans wise, in terms of how many people are coming, there's no a big gap. You know what I mean? Talbot, Kilwinning, Pollock, big clubs, big crowds, but we're a big club.
100%.
I think the average crowd this season, and obviously with the benefit of Scottish Cup, something about 665. And that's impressive. There's no many clubs at our level will come close to that on a regular basis, and there's teams in the League 2 that struggle to get that.
One as well.
So it's great to see the town engaging with the club again. As well as me, Kev, how hard it was for years when we played at Kilwowie in the first division. And you couldn't get 1,000 folk in, and without sounding demeaning to some of the clubs, but to get 12 and 1,300 against your Annans and Elgins, it wouldn't have been thought about, and you'd been lucky to get 600.
Yeah, makes a massive difference as well. Teams coming here and we've got 500-600 fans. Also, first and foremost, brilliant for our players to play in front of that.
Connor Sermani will come on for the Ants now. It looks like he's replacing Cameron Lindsay. We'll get the last
Hopefully
7 or 8 minutes.
Hopefully they're out tomorrow as well. Backing the boys.
Yeah, get yourself down to Home Park tomorrow.
Any update for people regarding stadium or the shed that's going in?
There's nothing at the moment. Obviously the shed was put back because it was going to hinder the crowds for the Scottish Cup run. The downside of that is that you basically go to the bottom of the pile for the work to be done, because contractors have got loads of work lined up. So I bet it's waiting on finding a gap for our contractors to come in and get the work done. And there's a couple of other wee bits and pieces that we're looking at. It's been widely documented that we need to get more gates in and things like that to get the capacity up, and some of the terracing does need a bit of work. But we talk about it every week at board level. We're trying everything we can. We managed to get it raised by a couple of hundred between the Elgin game and the Clyde game, and we'll continue to do that. As a board, we talk about it every week. We talk to Home Park every week. Obviously, Stuart Kelly's at board level representing the club as well. We talk to Laurie most weeks, so it is ongoing, and we're desperate for things to happen here.
I think the terrace for me would be the big one in terms of when it's raining and windy here, and you've only got that wee bit. It's not particularly nice, but hats off to the fans. They came out on Tuesday night just before kick-off. It was absolutely lashing down. We had no bad crowd, so I think that would make a massive difference in terms of the away terrace, or with as Kev says here, the shed in. That would be a big improvement in terms of getting numbers in with obviously the weather.
Obviously, long-term plans for the club to extend that and have a cover.
Ideally, that we would like to get at least both sides of the ground fully terraced. A shed on this side's the priority in conjunction with Home Park and the council, and there's potential for something similar to what we're building the roadside at the other end if we can get that terracing repaired to the required standard as well. I think if you look back in the last 18 months, we have repaired a lot of terracing. We've put the shed in, we've got the covered enclosure that allows wheelchairs and things like that to come in. So there is constant improvement. We've got the surface, we've got the lights, so there's so many positives, and I think a lot of people sometimes have to remember that we got a lot of this for nothing, so while we've obviously spent some money on it to get up to licence standard, we're not just happy to sit there. No, we want to keep improving, but we also want to improve the budget for the first team manager, so there's a balancing act. The big uptake in trust membership in the last 18 months, we've attracted 500 new members. So things like that let us balance with doing some work to the park that lets us maybe fund another player. There's so much that can be done for that. We've relaunched the 100 Club, so the more members we get into the 100 Club, the more money we can divert to certain projects. So everything's positive. It's all about progressing the club on and off the park. Kirky knows we talk to the management weekly about how we can assist them. We talk to Home Park about how we can do things here. But for us to keep progressing, we have to do work both on and off the park, and that's certainly two of the priorities for the board at this point.
Good to hear.
Good move.
The problem with doing so much good things, whether it be on the park or off the park, is it raises expectations, and people expect that to keep happening all the time, but we have to be sensible as well, it's effectively.
Well, the majority will remember that the dire straits we ended up in before. How we end up losing our league membership.
We've had some really bad times, and the club's probably in the best place it's been in for 30 years. We've sold over 400 jerseys this season,
Brilliant.
which
Absolutely
wouldn't have been
brilliant.
done since Wet was in the front of it, so.
To be fair, the two tops are absolutely belters.
They really are, and next season's away top will be a cracker as well. Stuart's working hard on that, and he's working hard to bring in new merchandise ideas. It's really, really positive. Goalkeeper gets that in the second attempt, and that again filters through to this age group. That the work that's going on there, and that filters down, like you were talking earlier, Kirky. So it's really positive for the club all over. But the job for us as a board is to make sure that the club keeps progressing, like the job for the management teams to make sure that we keep evolving the first team. We would love to win the league and be in the lower league next year, but that might take 2 or 3 years to get to the right level. But we're moving slowly towards that on the park and off the park, and we'll continue to try and do that as much as we can. Effort fired over the bar. Leroy Shannon had his cracking strike earlier. That one wasn't as handsome.
Big Seamus done alright since he came on, by the way.
He's done really well,
Yeah.
as you say. As we spoke earlier, it's dead easy to put the head down and no come to training and no do the hard work when you're not playing.
Yeah, just came on like to play. Well, scored his goal. Still think Tino's dropping in a bit deep there.
He seems to be trying too hard, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
I think that's not his game, dropping in that deep.
I think the positive of that, Kirk, is that the game's 5-1 and there's only over a minute to go, and he still wants to get on the ball, make things happen. I get what you're saying, I agree with you, but there's that desire,
That effort, he's probably wanting a goal, that's probably why.
He's been at first team level recently as well. People could be sitting there going, he doesn't want to be there, doesn't need to be there, but he's shown that he's in the team and he wants to be part of it.
Oh, unlucky, son.
Unlucky.
He's a wee dummy there.
I will say, I think that the 5-1 is a bit harsh on the Ants.
just going to say, I think I'm watching the Ants now, they're still trying to play football. They've not get disheartened even at 5-1 down.
It is easy when you go that far behind, whether you start getting rid of the ball or start being a bit nasty off the ball and things like that as well. But no, they've played the game the same way for the whole 90 minutes, and 5-1 is quite harsh on them. Goalkeeper's committed again.
He scored.
And that'll be another great finish there.
A bit like Connor Hamilton,
Done really
keeper
well.
comes out, nicks the touch. Delighted for Seamus, two great finishes.
Two great finishes, right. Fantastic, deserves that.
He's worked really hard since he came on.
Yeah, as I said, similar to Hammy's goal, I think the keeper commits himself really, really early. He's coming away out the edge of his box, makes a sort of decision without making one really. Seamus again nicks it, probably go down, but that's a really good tight. That's a bit tighter than Hammy's first one as well, a wee bit further out, a wee bit tighter angle, so great finish. Definitely, we just talked to you about 5-1 being a bit harsh, 6-1's definitely harsh.
It really is, and
but again, you've got to be ruthless. Listen, we say that to the boys all the time. You go and win 5-6, whatever you can win. It's no your fault, but it's definitely harsh in St Ants. But again, we were talked about 25 minutes ago. It was 1 each, 2-1. It was quite tight, and it's now, as we said, it's opened up. St Ants are probably tired the last 10-15 minutes, but it's opened up. We've got another chance here again.
You see, with Scott's had the benefit of being able to bring on 5 subs and freshen up and keep that
definitely.
tempo.
Scott was speaking before the game as well. He wants to be more ruthless.
He's also brought on subs, and well
Oh,
done, son.
be a foul there.
Tackle.
He's also brought on subs in forward areas where they want to impress. So he brought on Callum and Tino Wide. Brought on front two have changed because Hammy's dropped. he's brought in guys in the areas of the park that want to go and attack.
Well, you did say that there was a strong bench tonight as well for them, so.
Kirk, if you flip this, I asked you if you were the Bankies, technically earlier what you'd be saying at half time. What would you be saying to the Ants boys at full time in the back of their performance?
We've been in that position when you go to 10 men and you try to stay in the game. I thought they've stayed in the game for large parts. They definitely don't deserve 6-1. That's what it says in the score sheet in our chance here.
It says 7 now.
We went from 5-1 to 7-1. That's extremely harsh now. But I would just be. Listen, they've really looked tired and dead in their feet now. I think up to 70 minutes mark, they were good, kept their shape. They've got beat 7-1 now, and they've still. I think that'll probably be it with full time. It's a bit harsh on them, definitely. I think they've kept their shape really well at times, and you know, we're talking that before the game, you're taking your chances. They could have been 2 up. St Anne's could have been 2 up before Clydebank scored. So harsh result, but credit our boys have kept going. Another 7 goals added in as full time goes there. So I think Scotty will be happy with that, particularly after the first half where it was 1 each, wasn't it? Looking too great.
I'd agree with that. You know, not the best performance by all accounts, you know, but plugged away, worked hard. You know, the Ants, as you said, did make it really difficult for them for a long time. And you know, I hope that MD for the Ants realises that we appreciate that as well, because they worked really hard, Kevin.
Right up to 70 minutes, as Kurt says, there wasn't much in the game. I think they've just ran out of legs.
I think the benefit the two.
Plenty of positives for the Ants. Their performance tonight, obviously losing the player didn't help, because they had us under pressure for quite a. Weren't allowing us to play out for the back, so
I think that's a fair assessment, you know. But at the end of the day, it's 3 points for Clydebank, 7 goals into the goals for column again, and some ruthless finishing when the chances came.
yeah, especially in the last 20 minutes.
And now they can look forward to winning the title here again against Gartcairn on a Friday night. Hopefully there'll be a bigger crowd there with fans knowing the title, and they've deserved that. To be fair, they've deserved that chance. For me, I think it's always better winning a league title at home. Listen, you'll take any league title anywhere, any time, but it'd be good for the boys that have got that result tonight, Kev, that they can then come here and go and have a chance to lift their trophy at home park in front of fans and that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's a good incentive for them as well. So
Hopefully they get a good turnout.
Yeah.
Win the title at your home, you can't. It's nothing better, as you say, than doing that.
Yeah.
That game's scheduled here for Friday the 18th of March. Gartcairn here in league duty, and a win will guarantee the title. Again, that could be wrapped up with fixtures elsewhere in between, so you know,
I
that
hope
could
it's
be
not
a bit.
actually.
No.
Paul.
I really hope that
they're
playing here to win it, you know, and we get a really big crowd. Thanks to everybody that's joined us tonight. I've put the donate a ticket thing back up once more, so you've got 30 seconds to rattle through that. But thanks for joining us. Clydebank 7-1-1. You get what you pay for on Bankies TV. We always say it, you know. And there's 8 goals. And
then after getting your wife abuse, she's turned up.
Lynn's turned up. She's got a poly bag, so that might be my clothes moth. Listen, thanks to everybody that's joined us. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow. Live coverage of the first team game from around 1:40. Check out Bankies TV on Twitter for the link to that. That's pay-per-view. Big thanks to Kirk. Thanks for joining us, mate. It's good to have you up here.
No worries, pleasure. Thanks to ask me on. I've been on my best behaviour, so it was good. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure he's sworn he's going to pay a fine right now.
Grace is just away reviewing the footage, so we'll find out how many fines he's due.
No swearing. I keep all my swearing for a Saturday.
Kev, thanks for joining us. Great to have you back up again.
Pleasure, Paul. Thanks for asking me up.
Big thanks to everybody for tweeting at home. Big thanks to our cameraman John Dunbar, and of course to the boys for pulling out a 7-1 win. Hopefully you'll be at home park tomorrow, but if not, we'll be here. Look forward to joining you. Have a good Friday night, and proud to be a Bankie. Take care.